One of the biggest experiments at the Amundsen-Scott station is the South Pole Telescope. The telescope has a massive dish and lives out in the dark sector, and is designed to study the cosmic microwave background, which is commonly described as the leftover radiation from the Big Bang. Dr. Sasha Rahlin has been working with the South Pole Telescope over the last 5 years, primarily during the summer, but became the winter rover scientist for the telescope in 2021. She also took the role of lead scientist on station, and to our knowledge, she is the first woman to do so. In a future video, I'll have Dr. Rahlin show us the telescope and explain how it works, but first, I'd like to sit down and get her thoughts about her role here at the South Pole Station. So I'm here at the South Pole in the science lab, and here with me is Sasha Rahlin, who is the station science lead for the South Pole Station this winter, 2021. And your main project is the South Pole Telescope, that's right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's my project.
Okay. So that's from day to day, that's what your main duties entail, is taking care of the South Pole Telescope, but you also are at least the figurehead lead for the entire science on station, right?
So every year, one person from the set of scientists is chosen as kind of the liaison to the National Science Foundation. And I write a monthly report saying what we've been working on and how things have been going. And I am kind of a conduit between the National Science Foundation and everybody else on station. There's only 10 grantees here total, 10 scientists, and the rest of the 39 of us for the winter are people that are here in some kind of support role, maintenance or IT or kitchen staff.
I think a lot of people are surprised to find out actually that most people here aren't scientists. I was actually surprised to find that out before I came down here. So this isn't your first time down here, right?
No, this is my first winter, but I've been here for 5 summer seasons total. So usually the summer seasons are shorter. They're 3-ish months or so, and that's when most of the flights can come in and out.
Right.
And the sun is up 24 hours a day.
Right.
So this is my first time actually being here year round, seeing the sun go down and come back up, and getting to experience the night sky.
What would you say is the biggest difference for you being here summer versus being here in winter?
In a normal summer, the summer season is a lot more busy. There's 3 months is not a lot of time to get everything done.
Things done.
So there's usually, for SPT, normally there's like 20 people here if we have a lot going on for the season, and we're always going back and forth to the telescope and doing a lot of work and trying to get all of the summer maintenance tasks done.
Gotcha. So summer is when you do all your upgrades and maintenance. Gotcha. And then
the winter
winter's
season is just
observing and making sure everything runs smoothly. Okay.
The station population is about 4 to 5 times more than what it is during the winter, and there's just a lot more going on.
And why don't you talk a little bit about your educational background and why you're qualified for this, and how you got here?
So my undergrad and grad degrees are in physics. I have been working on instrumentation for these sorts of telescopes for over a decade at this point. My PhD project was actually working on a telescope called Spider, which was a balloon-borne telescope that launched off the coast of Antarctica at McMurdo Station. That was my first season in Antarctica in 2014-15. When I went to grad school, I wanted to work on this balloon project because I thought it was really cool that I would get to build a thing that flies on a balloon in Antarctica. I also learned in grad school that I really like to work on instrumentation, and a lot of control software, designing software to run a telescope to make it do what you want, to make it look at the right part of the sky and collect the right kind of data. Lots of Python, lots of C and C++.
So if somebody wanted to come here and be a scientist for the South Pole Telescope, what kind of background would they need?
A science, a physics or astrophysics instrumentation background is not strictly necessary to come here. It certainly helps quite a bit. Usually for the winter seasons, we'll hire people with any kind of STEM background, based mainly on their skill set, how well it fits in with the kind of day-to-day work they'd be doing. In past winters, we've had engineers wintering for us. We've had people with a background in IT. We've had people who were also PhDs in some other science field, or even bachelor's or undergrad degrees in some science field. So it's mainly just, your ability to troubleshoot, and also, just a decent amount of hardware background. We got to be able to like fix the stuff that breaks. If a motor breaks, we have to find what's broken and fix it. Maybe replace some cabling, or replace some piece of equipment, or sometimes it's more involved than that. Sometimes it's digging into the heart of the electronics and figuring out what little component broke and replacing that.
Do you think you could say what your favorite and least favorite thing about being on station is?
I mean, I think my favorite thing about coming down to the South Pole is the community here. There's a lot of really great people that you get to meet from all walks of life, and it's really wonderful to be able to get to know all these people, especially throughout a whole year of being, kind of caged in.
Yeah, you're gonna either like people or you're not.
Yeah.
I would have to agree, for what it's worth. Community is definitely the best thing about coming down here.
Can't really think of a thing that I don't like.
I think the darkness started to get to me after about 6 months, so there's that.
Yeah, maybe it's the lack of like a regular sleep schedule.
that definitely wears on you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sasha. I appreciate you coming on here, and hope you guys enjoyed. Keep an eye on my channel for South Pole Telescope Part 2, where we'll talk about what the telescope is looking for and how it works.